Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of Out of the Park Baseball 23 with the Washington Nationals. And we are a little bit ahead of where I would like to be. I accidentally deleted part one of my last episode, which started on September 1st. So you guys are not going to get to see the last month of the regular season from last season. You can see where I am right now as I'm getting ready to record the next episode. But last episode started on September 1st. I paused, I came back, and we have the final two bits of last season, the postseason, and the offseason. So enjoy, and I'll talk to everybody later. Bye. All right, guys, we're back. I seemed to have a day. And we got Vanderhey back, so that's a good thing. I put him on the postseason roster. I mean, we'll see how he does. He hasn't pitched since July 3rd, and he's going to start game 2 of the postseason against St. Louis, so not overly optimistic, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, in a 3-game series, we have the better pitching. They got Bryce Osmond, Brandon Williamson, and Casey Mize as their 3 starters. A lot of injuries for them as well, including Jack Flaherty, Mason Wynn, Lizier Hernandez. Yeah, so a lot of injuries for them. Middle of the pack offensively, good starters, ERA. It seems like St. Louis always has good pitching. And then you got us, which are 6th in the National League in runs scored, 3rd in runs against. But we're sending out Burns, Vanderhey, and Baz. My guess is that we get swept because that's just the way things go. We made the World Series a year ago. We are into the postseason. It's going to be Corbin Burns against Bryce Osmond. We were 1-6 against the Cardinals this season. So let's see how quickly we lose this series. Hell, we win game 1 4-2, so it's a start. And yes, I am the eternal pessimist when it comes to my postseason play. Dylan Cruz reaches base 4 times. Crane drives in a couple. Burns goes 6. I moved to Charles. Charles and Figueroa are in stoppers roles now. At least for this first round. Charles probably moves into the rotation for the next round. But all right, here we go. See how Ryan Vanderhey does with his first start in nearly 3 months. Casey Mize against Vanderhey. Series is tied at 1. We lose 6-1. It's about what I expected. 3 2/3. 2 runs, 3 hits. So it's going to come down to Shane Baz here in game 3. At least it's at home. At least we get all 3 games at home. So Brandon Williamson, Shane Baz, game 3 as we look to extend our season, and we do not. We lose 8-2. I hate this game sometimes. I really, really hate this game sometimes. Yeah. So that's another season out of the way, another season where we make the playoffs, another season where we don't win, anything. And it's our season comes to, and this has not been a good year for me. Out of the Park 23 has not been good to me. Struggled in my A's playthrough, didn't win a World Series there in about 10 years before the financial bug borked that playthrough. Haven't won a World Series here with the Nationals. Made it to the World Series last year, but haven't won the World Series. The only series that I've won anything with was my Diamondback series on GM Games, where I won 3 World Series titles in a row. But that's been it. So 3 World Series titles in, about 35 seasons between my 3 Let's Plays. So not great. Not great this season. I'm feeling like a poor out-of-the-park baseball player. Frankly, that's how I'm feeling. So we'll see how next year goes as we move on once again to the offseason, unfortunately. And it's disappointing. That's really disappointing. Davis Crane, look at his numbers this year. 49 home runs, 128 runs knocked in. Yeah, hoping for some better things. So Cardinals beat us 2-1. The Phillies beat the Dodgers. Both of those teams lose in the next round, get swept, in fact, by the Cubs and the Mets. The White Sox, that's a pretty cool foursome. The White Sox and the Red Sox in the ALCS, and then the Cubs and the Mets in the NLCS. The White Sox and the Cubs in the 2030 World Series. The city of Chicago would burn to the ground if this happened. Cubs are up 1-0. Cubs are up 2-0. The White Sox won 108 games this season, and they were down 2-0 in the World Series. So both Chicago teams actually won over 100 games this year. Cubs won exactly 100. The White Sox went 108-54. Just crazy. Anybody here worth taking a gander at? Not particularly. Wow. Korean Baseball League wants a lot of money for some of these guys. You can keep them. That's good. Cubs are 1 game away from the World Series, and they sweep the 108-win White Sox in the 2030 World Series. So, Chicago Cubs win it all in 2030, and the Nationals come up short yet again. I was so optimistic coming into this season, given the offseason acquisitions that we made. So Burns voided his contract. Baz voided his. Lewis, we will void. Joey Estes, we will void. So we have a payroll of about $210 million. We got to bring back. We got to get some coaches in here. Did I forget to sign my coaches like a dum-dum? I think I did. So let's do that real quick. We need a pitching coach, a hitting coach. It's probably good time for a change anyway, given how last season went. So let's look at hitting coach ratings. So SD Harris gets along pretty well with our guys. What about Andy Brown? Now let's go Andy Brown. Neutral. They're both neutral. M. Andersch. I think I go SD Harris, actually, just because he gets along well with personable guys, and he's got that legendary development. So let's offer him a contract. Pitching coach. Chris Brock, currently with the Reds, or was with the Reds. Jonathan Rummels was with the Indians. Neutral. Excellent at development. Yeah, let's offer him. He has no interest in being our pitching coach. Well, screw you too. Briscoe, John Briscoe. We'll Brock. Yep, Brock will come in. All right. And what was the other one we needed? A third base coach. All right, so if we look at our coaching staff really quickly, we have really somebody that needs to teach. That doesn't really matter. Just find somebody who can. It was legendary at anything, and just kind of go from there. Or a third base coach. I think that's the option. Base coach. You go Wolfgang Shore. What about our third base coach? He has no interest in being our third base coach. All right. Rico Bronya, Shane Lowe. Has no interest in being our Fernando Valenzuela Jr. Third base coach. All right, now let's take a look at scouts real quick, just to make sure we're not missing out on anything. Looking for a highly favors tools guy, and there isn't one. Okay. All right, that's fine. All right, so, I mean, we should have a ton of money, yeah, given that we've got players that we have to sign. So let's start here. And he wants that same contract. And we can afford it. I don't know that I want to give him that much money right now. So can we do 3 years at like 28.5? Would he take something like that? Like if I did a team option with a $4 million buyout? He will. Okay, cool. Let's offer that then. 3 years, $84 million. I mean, it's an expensive contract for somebody his age, but we're banking on him, giving us 3 to 4 wins, which I think is reasonable. What does Baz want? Okay, and we're going to offer him a qualifying offer. Bruel wants 8. Fernandez was really good for $1.2 million. Wants 4. Garrett Hill wants 1.5. His ratings have started to drop. I mean, 1.5 seems reasonable, not for 3 years, though. To do a couple of team options. Cool. All right. Fronder Veras wasn't particular. What does Lewis know? No. Wow, 7 years, $90 million. No, thank you. Fronder Veras, I would like to bring back, but again, he's probably going to want more than I want to pay him. Yeah, 8.5. All right, let's save some money here with our ARB cases. Lofton at 1.2. Not going to save much, maybe a couple $100,000 here and there, but we might be able to. He wants 2.3, so 2.285. Not enough? Yeah, all right. We don't save much there. Yeah, Figueroa wants 2.1. 0.50. Actually, we could probably do 2 million on the nose. Yep, save 100K on Figueroa. Shores wants 1.1. That is totally fine. 1.050. And we may not. We'll see what's available in free agency, but I don't want to get myself too deep into free agency. Like I don't want to have too many long-term contracts. I would like to start putting more money into scouting and development if I can help it. So Crane wants 5.5. It seems like a no-brainer. Save $250,000 there. Villalobos wants 5, which again is a reasonable contract given what he's done. And I'm completely content going year by year with him. I'm good with 3 years. The team option there. So we do 4.5, 5.5, 6.5. With like a $650,000 buyout. Good. Yeah. No, I'm fine with that. Chances are he'll be fine next season. And if he's bad the year after that, it's only $5 million. I'm not too terribly concerned about it. Now, Michael Mullinax. He was awful last season. And he wasn't all that great defensively. I mean, I would almost rather put Mo Hampton in the outfield, given what Hampton did last season. Cardinal looks pretty good, but that's a lot of money in arbitration that I don't really want to spend. What if we go prospects? Yeah, not a lot of options. Man, I can't just non-tender him. I mean, I think we have to offer him. So he wants 2.15. So 2.070, like that. Will he take that? He will. Okay. So that should give us a little bit of money. If we look at our front office, yeah. I mean, if Burns signs, it's going to drop our free agent money down to, $18 million or something like that. But we should get fan interest bumps from some of this stuff. So let's go ahead and sim ahead. All right, so we signed our pitching coach, our new pitching coach, our new hitting coach, and our new third base coach. I haven't even looked at what's available in free agency because I don't know. I just wasn't confident that we were going to have any money to do it. Keep simming ahead here a little bit. All right, so we signed a bunch of contracts. We got Corbin Burns. Fan interest increases as expected. Fan interest for Villalobos. So we get a couple of bumps for those guys, but I think that's it. Bumps us to a 92, though. Yeah, so we have $20 million this year, 17 for extensions. So if there's nobody, I mean, we need a second baseman, right? Because Royce Lewis is now gone. So we're going to need a second baseman. I don't think there's anybody left in arbitration. Just Figueroa, yeah. So just Figueroa. Bruel, Fernandez, Lewis, and Veras are all gone. Let's, you know what? Before I forget, let's come here and offer contracts to all of our minor league free agents. So we're gonna have to replace Baz. We're also going to have to replace Royce Lewis. How we do that remains to be seen. We still have Burns and Vanderhey at the top of our rotation, so our 1-2 is as good as it's going to get. Then we've got Charles and Lofton. So I don't think we're going to have to spend a ton of money on pitching, but we are going to need a second baseman. We are going to need so Romo wins a Gold Glove. Again, there's Crow Armstrong now with the Cubs. Wins the Gold Glove for the Cubs. Figueroa is a huge part of our team going forward. We're going to need him. He finishes 5th in the reliever of the year. Andres Herrera, 6-1 with a .65 ERA as a rookie. Interesting. He's pretty damn good. All right. Platinum sticks. I would imagine Crane wins it at first. Do we get one for Crane and Cruz? That's sort of the question. That's AL. NL. Crane doesn't win. Interesting. It goes to Vlad Jr. We don't get any. Oh, no, we got Cruz. Cruz and left. Okay. Just get up to the arbitration hearings. The other option, and I talked about this last episode, was we can potentially move Abrams to second and then sign a shortstop, depending on what's available. So big picture, we need some help from our minor leagues. We just haven't been getting any help from the minor leagues, so it's forcing us to have to spend more money than we would like, right? And we had a plan at second base, but I don't know that he's ready yet. I don't know that he is ready yet. Okay, so Figueroa signs his deal, which is good. Eric Young Jr. wins the Manager of the Year. No surprise. I am recording, right? I ask this every episode. I know. Yes, I am recording. Miles Jansen won't be back. It's fine. NL MVP Christopher Morel, 42 home runs, 124 RBIs. There's Davis Crane, Villalobos, Cruz, and Burns all finishing in like the top 15. AL is Christian Gonzalez. So he signed that big free agent contract from Austin, went to the White Sox and put up 9 WAR for the 108-win White Sox. So we're going into the offseason with fan interests teetering around 90, which is great. We're going to lose some when Baz signs elsewhere. We're going to lose some when Royce Lewis signs elsewhere. That's to be expected, but we should be able to make that back with any acquisitions that we make. So Yeah, we got to win soon. We got to win a title. I got to win at least one with the Nationals here. This is incredibly frustrating. So we'll see what Shane Baz does. I mean, my guess is he doesn't. Yeah, he filed for free agency. That's what I expected. That's fine. So we're going to get a comp pick for Shane Baz, so we should have a couple of first-round picks in the upcoming draft. Not that we'll do anything with them, but international free agents, anybody here we can take a run at? He looks okay, but he wants $10 million. Ugh. Zhao looks all right. Flores, Mariyama. Let's offer him a minor league contract right off the bat. And let's offer him a contract as well. Let's just offer him a major league contract. I think, I don't know. No. Let's offer him a minor league contract. All right, the Orioles want to send us Leandro Arias for Pete and Graff. No, I'm good. All right, so free agents. Beer, Carlson, Martin, Baz, Hunter Green, Jordan Hicks, Acuna, Jesus Sanchez, Torkelson, and Matthew Thompson. Wow, okay. All right, so let's look at our offseason. I think it said we had about $20 million, give or take. $22 million. We need, what do we need? Let's look at our system first. So Barclay is simply not ready yet. He had 235 in AA, so he's just not ready. Well, from a lineup perspective, let's clear the lineup. So we got Romo at catcher, Crane at first, Abrams at short, Cruz, Robert. I mean, Montes technically could be our second baseman. 60, 60, 60, 55. I mean, he's been, and his ratings have actually gotten better. I mean, right now, he's probably our second baseman, but I like him better as a swing guy. Mo Hampton had a really nice season for us last year, but I think Mullinax is still our right fielder. Still not willing to waive that no trade clause. I feel like I'm okay trading McDaniel. Let's see what sorts of offers we get for infielders. Scotto, no. No. Could bring back Will Matusak for a third time. Jose Depp. Yeah, just nothing there. Just nothing there. What if we go all players? So it looks like we need a second baseman, and that's really about it. From an outfield perspective, I think we're fine. Yeah, that's a lot of meh, a lot of averageness coming back. A lot of middle relievers, a lot of average middle relievers. All right. So we need starting second baseman right now. So Villalobos are starting third baseman, right? Right now, our starting DH against righties is McDaniel. So really all we need, maybe a second baseman and a bat. And then from a pitching perspective, we've got Charles, we've got Lofton, and we need some bullpen help. For the first time in a while, we need some bullpen help. Yeah. So bullpen, second base, maybe an outfielder, or maybe a starter. So let's start with second base or shortstop. Really, I mean, we can do either. Cutter Coffee, ground ball pitcher. He's not an infielder. I mean, I guess he can hit enough, but I like the ground ball pitcher. Only wants $1 million. Do Young, he wants $14 million. Perdomo, 217 for the Cubs a year ago. And he's very good defensively. That might be a way to go. Urias I like, but he wants more than I can afford, really. I kind of like the idea of Perdomo and just stick him in the number 9 hole. From an offensive perspective, he doesn't look like he's going to hit any worse than Royce Lewis did. Although, I guess, his ratings suggest otherwise. But he was really good defensively last season. So, yeah, let's offer him. He wants 5 years. Yuck. All right, let's look at pitchers. Maybe we just make another splash at starting pitcher, and then he wants a comp pick. Can't make a splash. There's nobody to make a splash with. Catalina only wants 1.7. Yeah, that looks like a decent guy to bring in. Let's offer him 1.5. And let's look at that. Where is he? Coffee. Bring him in too. Major league contract, $1 million. Pitchers. We really do need another starter. Cornell led the American League in ERA last season, but he's not, 40 stamina. He's okay. Max Fried has been injured. Hunter Green is wrecked. Case Williams led the National League in losses a year ago. Extreme fly ball pitcher in Colorado, though. Maybe we bring in Case Williams as our number 5. Strikeout pitcher, 3 good pitches. Kind of like the idea there. Zhao, we can bring him in as well on a major league deal worth $900K. Yep. I like the idea of Case Williams. 2 years. We do that. 4.5 and 5. Okay. So there's a lot of pitchers. We needed some pitcher help. There's some pitcher help. Bryce Elder. Extreme ground ball guy. Yep. He only wants 1.8. Let's offer him 1.5. All right, so I think that's good from a pitcher perspective. There might be some additional pitchers that we can take a run at as we get further into free agency, but I like that as a start. We could use a bat, and we need a second baseman. We can't afford any of the big names. Acuna, Carlson, Leo Rodriguez. Oh. Spencer Torkelson, no. I don't believe Barrero is worth that kind of money. Brian Hayes, maybe? Maybe another undervalued kind of guy, and we stick him. That range and error, he would be elite at 3rd. Wants 4 years at $9 million apiece. So, we could solve the offensive problem by moving Hayes to 3rd, making Villalobos our DH. But does that... Villalobos was good defensively, wasn't he? He was okay. So it looks like most of his value is derived from his offense, which is weird given that his offense wasn't great. So we can move Villalobos in, get elite defense from Brian Hayes, and then go with an all-glove guy. Maybe we can put together just a killer offense. Can we get Hayes and Perdomo? Let's try 3 years with a team option for 7, 8, and 7. $750,000 buyout. Okay. I'm all right with that. And then on the other side, we can go talk to Perdomo. He wants 5 years. I'm not going to give you 5 years. We'll offer him the same, basically the same deal. 7, 8. Actually, you know what? I want to offer him less. 6, 7, 6. The $600,000 buyout. And he's okay with that. Okay, so if we can sign all these players, Perdomo becomes our starting either second baseman or shortstop. Hayes becomes our starting third baseman. We move Villalobos to DH, and then maybe we can trade McDaniel for some bench help. Let's go ahead and sim ahead a bit and see what we get here. Oh, I forgot we got Needy coming back too. What is his rating? What do his ratings look like right now? He's still pretty good. I mean, who knows what he's actually going to look like when it's all said and done, but if we can sign all of those players, if we can sign the starting pitcher and Hayes and Perdomo, I'd be pretty happy with that. It would give us the best defensive infield in the league with Abrams at second, Hayes at third, and Perdomo at short. Hospital named a new wing in honor of Villalobos. All right, so Hall of Fame voting. Let's look at the offseason center. It's all still pending. So Williams likes his offer. Zhao likes his offer. Everybody else is still pending. Let's go to Hall of Fame voting. You guys tell me what you think about those offers. I mean, I kind of like them. It means we're not going to have any money to really do anything else with, but I'm comfortable with those deals that we made. I really am. So Greinke, DeGrom, King Felix, Lester. I'm a huge Andrew McCutchen fan, even though he probably doesn't deserve it. Molina. Sale. Votto, and Wainwright. All right, there's my ballot. Let's keep simming and see what we get. Yeah, if we can sign all those players, I'll probably trade McDaniel because then we'll run with Mo Hampton and Montes as our primary backups. Montes can play everywhere, and Hampton can play the outfield. So as long as we stay healthy, it'll be a pretty solid bench. So Salcedo, the Giants made him a better offer. It's fine. I don't care. What do we got here? Oh, I thought it may have been Jose Ramirez. Yeah, Arturo Ramirez for a 38-year-old Manny Machado. Interesting. All right, let's keep going. If we get into any bidding wars, obviously we'll have to kind of make a right turn and rethink what we do here. But yeah, my hope was to have some money for scouting and development, but I feel like improving the big league team is more important, right? I mean, our $23 million into both scouting and development feels like it should be enough. So Moya wants more money. I don't know that I want to give him. I mean, his bat looks pretty good. I don't know that I can afford to give him more, though. Yeah, I can't. All right, that's fine. Whatever. I don't care. Let's keep going. Get to the winter meetings. Hopefully we can sign some players. All right, so we picked up Neraldo Catalina. He was our first one. Was it just a one-year contract? Yeah, one-year contract worth $1.5 million. Fans like it, so that's good. We can put him on the active roster. Fan interest up to a 94 now. That's nice. So we should, in theory, be able to bump it another buck. That fan interest the way that it is, fans should keep coming out to the ballpark even when, we had a 3-month period where we were a 500 team. Brian Hayes, not enough to sign him. Zhao, not enough to sign him. All right, so what does Brian Hayes want? You do that? No, not 7 million. All right, try that. We can't get into a bidding war because we just don't have the money to get into a bidding war. Signed Bryce Elder. Cool. Cutter Coffee, we signed him as well. All right, so we made some additions to our bullpen right away. Elder could be a starter as well, so even if that other starter that we pick up doesn't work out, his numbers in Atlanta weren't particularly good last year, but he was a 3-WAR pitcher the 2 seasons before that. So I'm optimistic that we have enough options to get it done in that number 5 spot. We'll move Charles up to that number 3 spot in our rotation, Lofton, and then whoever we have in the number 5. All right, so what do we got going on? Anything yet? Perdomo, Hayes, Williams all favor their offers. Those are the 3 big dominoes, so to speak, that we're still waiting on. Up to the Rule 5. We'll do the Rule 5, and then, as I always do, I'll pause, and I'll do the rest of the offseason offline. Hopefully those players have all signed by the Rule 5, so you guys can see that. But if not, then tough. Yeah, I like the idea of Hayes, Perdomo, Abrams on the infield with Drew Romo behind the plate. And a decent defensive outfield. Not great, but a decent defensive outfield. Yeah, not great, but decent. All right, so we signed Case Williams. Did that do anything for our fan interest? It did not. We're still at a 94. All right, so Case Williams we bring in. Another starter. Somebody who I think could be a decent pitcher in our ballpark. I mean, he put up 5 WAR 2 years ago for Colorado. So, I mean, and 3 WAR just 2 years ago. So I have to think that there's something there, and that part of this is just the ballpark. So we're still waiting on our middle infield of well, not our middle infield, but our 2 infielders. So we signed Perdomo. All right, so that's a 3-year contract. 6 years this year, $7 million next year, and then $6 million team option after that. So we now have Perdomo, and the question is, do we put him at second or do we put him at short? I mean, I think short is the right call, and then Abrams becomes the second baseman because the arm's not quite as good. I think that's the plan. Let's get up to the Rule 5. And I may, unless Hayes signs on this day right here, which he doesn't, I may back off Brian Hayes. I mean, he's so good defensively, but if I can wait out, yeah, there aren't a ton of bats left. That's the thing. I was going to say, if I could wait out a bat and get somebody in to be that DH for me, I would do that. I don't know, maybe we go with someone like Isaac Paredes instead and have him be our DH. He's cheaper. He only wants a 1-year contract. Hayes at 237, and yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to withdraw the offer to Brian Hayes, and then we're going to come back in here, go to the offseason center, go back to free agents. I got to actually back out, I think. Now I should be able to do it. Yep, there's the money. Isaac Paredes, I mean, we've needed a leadoff hitter, right? We've needed a leadoff hitter, and this is that guy, I think. Okay, So Paredes, let's offer him a 2-year deal worth like 3.5 and 4. Will he take that? He will. Okay. Cool. All right, let's take a look and make sure there's nobody we need to put on our 40 man. Bland needs to go on the 40 man. Cardenas needs to go on the 40 man. These are guys that may be trade bait as I mess around in the offseason. Yeah, they may be people that are trade bait, but especially Cardenas. Well, actually, no. His rating's changed. He's turned into a different hitter than when I picked him up. Interesting. And Bland just isn't developing like we would like. That's disappointing. All right, Rule 5. Picking 25th. All right, what do we got? Gasparino is back as a on the Rule 5 again. Jesus Camacho, not ready enough for us yet. And we're at that point where we can't take a Rule 5 guy unless they're actively going to help us. Like, we can't stash anybody at this point. We can't afford that. I'm not seeing anything. Miklas Kukuk. Yeah, some of these guys are pretty good, but not like they're not going to get it done for me. They're not going to play for me right now. Sergio Montes, no. There might be a pitcher that we can look at. Ezekiel Pinto, like he's really good. But what am I going to do with him? Turn around and trade him maybe? I don't know if he's got any value. Maybe pick him, and if he doesn't have any value, just turn around and send him back, I guess. Sure, why not? What about pitchers? Mike Mariscal. No. Alexander's 36. Looking for those extreme ground ball guys that might be diamond in the rough type things. Jimmy Cordero's 39 years old. Paul Fry's 38. Hagenman, extreme ground ball, 34 years old. He's an option. I wouldn't mind picking up an extreme ground ball guy to add to my bullpen. I would prefer there to be a young guy that still has some room for growth, but most of what I'm seeing here are old men. Well, relatively speaking, old men. Nick Pivetta. Marcus. Yeah, it's all old players. All in their 30s. He's not old. He's just not particularly good. Will Vest. I think that's it. I think we're just going to pass. I think we're good. Just going to go ahead and complete the draft. And I'm going to pause there, guys. So when we come back, it'll be the end of the offseason. We'll go through any trades or any other free agent offers I made. Hopefully we can get Paredes to come in and be our leadoff hitter. And we will start next season. So I'll be back once again in just a minute. All right, guys, we're back. It is opening day, and there's been some good, and there's been some not so good. So we'll start with the good. So one of the things that I did was we went after and we picked up, not Perdomo. Well, we picked up Perdomo, but he's not the one I'm looking at. Isaac Paredes. We signed him. 2.5 stars. Signed him to a 2-year contract worth $7.5 million, 3.5 this year, 4 next. I'm hoping he's going to be that leadoff hitter that we've been looking for, especially against left-handers. He's really, really good against left-handers. And he's not going to be any worse against righties than what we've been putting out at the top of the order. So I'm pretty excited about that. So we signed him. I pulled the offer back from Ke'Bryan Hayes, and about a month later, I got a request from Hayes that he wanted to talk to us again. So I went back and I made a trade in order to clear up the space. I mean, ultimately, we signed Ke'Bryan Hayes to a pretty reasonable contract. $3.4 million this year, $6.7 next season, and then a team option for $7.7 the year after that. So really, it's a 2-year deal worth about $10 million for one of the best defensive third basemen in the game. And if he hits at all, it will be a plus. So yeah, we ended up signing Hayes, and to do that, we had to make a small trade, not one I'm horribly concerned about, but we traded Zach Bennett and Ezekiel Pinto to the Tigers, getting Chase Coy in return. Bennett, bullpen arm. He was making about 2.3 an ARB. He was pretty good last season for us. I mean, he was quite good for us last season, but we have other pitchers that are similar to him. So we traded him and Ezekiel Pinto, who was the guy we picked up in the Rule 5 draft. And in exchange, we get Chase Coy, just a average 2-star. He's listed as a first baseman. I guess he can play a little bit outfield too. He's got a decent enough bat if we ever need a pinch hitter or a designated hitter in a pinch. He could come up and do it. So, but that was just to clear the space. So we signed Ke'Bryan Hayes. We also brought Justin Bruel back. He's no longer a ground ball pitcher, but still has that elite control. 3+ years of at least 141 ERA plus. He's won 27 games in 3 seasons for us. He's pitched 241 games for us over 3 seasons. So signed him to a 2-year contract, 4.5 this year, $5 million next. So we've added some I think useful pieces to our team. So the biggest bad is we've lost Todd Nebe again for the season. He's out for 10 months with a torn UCL. So he's going to have missed 2 full seasons. So we will likely look to trade him here at some point, because I have to assume that these ratings will drop after missing 2 full years of baseball. Mullinax is hurt again. His days are probably numbered. If he had given us this season every year, 800 OPS or even close to that, I would hold out hope, but he's turned into a slap-hitting outfielder who's not elite defensively. So, so that is, those are some of the changes. That's kind of where we are. We were 13-13. Oh, the other bad news: Corbin Burns. The ratings are starting to dip, and it's a concern because it's the velocity. So his stuff is down to a 60. Again, if we can get another decent season out of him this year, I'm fine with having a below-average Corbin Burns next season, because the year after that is a team option. So we'll pay him this year. My guess is he puts up 3.5 to 4 WAR. And if he does that, then even if we have to pay him next year, that's fine. So that's kind of where we are. We are at 33 players. We have 16 pitchers. We got to send 3 pitchers down to the minor leagues, and that will be, I think, Smith, Clemmer, and Woodward. Shores is down to 2 stars, huh? Well, that's a little disconcerting, given how good he was last season out of the bullpen. But yeah, those are the 3 we're going to send down. Well, I guess we are going to waive Woodward and Smith. All right, so there is our 13-man rotation, our 13-man bullpen or pitching staff. We're Vanderhey, Burns, and Vanderhey are our top 2, and I think we're gonna do this. We're gonna go Burns, Vanderhey, Charles, Williams, and Lofton as our 5 starters. All right, we're going to have Figueroa as a stopper. We're not going to go with the closer this year, I don't think. I think we have a couple of good. Let's list him as a setup man / high leverage. Catalina. Elder. Does he have splits? He doesn't really have splits. So I think we go Bruel and Elder as our setup men. Catalina, Gatto, his ratings actually got better. So with the extreme ground ball, I think we can go middle relief here. Hill has always been pretty good, although his ratings are starting to dip as well. I mean, he's in his 30s, but I think we're good with this. Figueroa as a stopper, Bruel and Elder as our setup men / high leverage closer types. Coffee, Gatto, Catalina as our middle relief, then Shores and Hill as our long relief. I think I'm okay with that. We have to send 3-4 batters down, so it's going to be Baca and Bland. Bland got a little better, too, which is nice. He doesn't look like he's going to be a superstar, but it looks like he could be a pretty passable third baseman with some good ratings, both offensively and defensively. And then Cardenas, they can all go to AA. And we have to send one more person down. And I kept trying to trade Dan McDaniel, but nobody wanted him. But I think he's still the guy. I think I'm going to send him to the minors. Yeah, we're just going to send him to the minors. And we have to set our lineups. Let's clear all the lineups. Let's look at the batting ratings. And our lineups are going to be interesting this year. We're going to be able to do a little bit more mixing and matching. So against righties, we're going to have Abrams as our number 3 to start. I don't know if that's where he's going to end up. Cruz is our 4. Villalobos. See, here's the thing. Like, we've got Villalobos, Hayes, Crane, and Paredes to play 3 positions. First, third, and designated hitter. Paredes makes the most sense batting leadoff. I mean, do we really want to stick him in right field? What are his ratings in right? 50, 55, 60. That allows us to keep Montes as that super sub. Yeah, I guess maybe we do that. We've got Villalobos third. Who bats second now for us? Robert, right. DH, first base, shortstop. So, no, Hayes is our third baseman, right? And Villalobos is our DH. So Crane. We got Crane. I don't want to bat Villalobos ninth, so I think we go lefty-lefty. I don't love the lefty-lefty thing, but I think that's what we're going to do. And Perdomo batting ninth. That feels like a pretty damn good lineup. Maybe not elite at any position, but really good top to bottom. If Paredes can get on base at a 350 clip, these guys should be able to drive in a ton of runs. Crane's contact is down a little bit from a 55 down to a 50, but he's got back-to-back seasons of either 50 home runs and 49 home runs. So this gives us a pretty stacked bench here, or a pretty flexible bench, I should say here, with Montes, Pete, and Hampton. Pete's got some pop in his bat as well. He's pretty good defensively. Montes isn't, I mean, he's good at everything, right? I mean, 60s across the board. He's not going to be elite, but he can play literally every position except for catcher. So let's copy this lineup and let's paste it against lefties. And what changes do we want to make against lefties? Do we want Villalobos out against lefties? 40, 50, 55, 55, 40. Yeah, I mean, he's still better than Montes against lefties. I think we just stick with the similar lineup, although maybe we do something like that, move Romo up. Romo is actually not as good against lefties. Maybe we do this, do something like that instead. Crane's not great against lefties either. 45 contact isn't really going to get it done, so we'll make sure that Montes is out there a little bit more against lefties. Same thing here. Get him out there a little bit more against lefties. Mo Hampton against righties needs to be playing a little bit more because I don't want Robert getting hurt all the time. So this is what we're going to do. I think that'll work. Let's get up to opening day. And we'll play opening day and see how season number, whatever this is, 10 or 11, kind of kicks off. And it has been a crazy, crazy day. The Ime Udoka news came out late last night, and I have been obviously following that news as a Celtics fan. It is pretty crazy what is going on with Ime Udoka facing a possible suspension. Those of you watching this video in 2027 or 2028, Ime Udoka was the head coach of the Boston Celtics for one season. He led the team to the NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors. They lost, and then Ime was suspended for a inappropriate relationship with somebody on the Celtics staff. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But anyway. Let's get to the baseball. So we have the number 6 prospect in the game, Luis Herrera. We picked him up last year in international signing, and he looks pretty good. But we've seen this before. Where does our minor league system rank? We're 7th, so we've moved up. So I put an extra $3 million into scouting and development, and that took us from down here up to 7th. I mean, I don't know if that absolutely correlates, but we've got 6, 23, 66, and 94. And we have the Atlanta Braves to kick things off. Preseason predictions have us winning the division at 90 and 72. One of the, I guess, middle of the pack offense, maybe top half offense, and one of the best pitching staffs in the National League, which isn't a huge surprise. We got Vanderhey on there, got Corbin Burns on there. From an offensive perspective, there's nobody listed. And we are going to play, game was canceled due to bad weather. Opening day rained out, and we have an opening day doubleheader tomorrow. Let's take a quick look at the waiver wire real quick. Gives me a second to do this. Francisco Capocci, an extreme ground ball pitcher. Let's look at all pitchers. See what we got. Sarantola. Ooh, I like him. Extreme ground ball pitcher with great stuff and movement. And yeah, absolutely. Claim. Give me Eric Sarantola. 100%. That type of profile, I mean, the walks aren't going to kill him because in theory he should be able to induce a lot of ground balls. He was really good in AAA last year. Any batters? There usually aren't any batters, but we'll see. Roderick Arias was a great player as part of our Oakland A's playthrough. Yeah, it looks like that's it. All right. So let's go ahead and play opening day. We're going to play the first game, and then that will be that. All right, so let's get to it. Play the game versus Atlanta. So we send up Paredes, Robert, Abrams, Cruz, Crane, Villalobos, Romo, Ke'Bryan Hayes, Geraldo Perdomo, with Corbin Burns on the mound. Corbin last year, 14-8 with a 2.97. You've got Cade Marlowe, transplant from Seattle, Michael Harris, Spencer Torkelson, big free agent acquisition, Acuna, McKenzie, Morlando, PJ Morlando. That's a fun name to say. Luis Angel Acuna, Jose Rodriguez, Brandon Winokur, and Hunter Green, transplant from San Francisco. 13-9, 3-5-6. So let's see how opening day goes here for the Washington Nationals as we look to finally break through and win a World Series. Paredes leads off, grounds out back to the pitcher. Robert grounds out to second. And CJ Abrams grounds to third. Now, second base, CJ Abrams. Don't forget, he moved over to second for Perdomo, who's now our starting shortstop. Ground ball down the right field line. It's going to be a one-out double for whoever that is. Harris. Torkelson with a line drive to center, gets down for a hit, and the Braves take a 1-0 lead in the first inning. Not great. Acuna grounds into the 4-6-3, so Atlanta takes the lead on a double and a single. Cruz strikes out. Davis Crane with a double to the left, so we got our own one-out double here in the second. Let's see if we can get Davis in. Villalobos, pop out to center field. And Drew Romo grounds out to short. So we strand a runner at second. McKenzie hooks it, but it's going to stay in the park. One away. Morlando pops up to second. And Acuna. This is Luis Angel Acuna, not Ronald Acuna Jr. Third inning, Ke'Bryan Hayes is first at bat as a member of the Nats. He's hit by a pitch. Perdomo walks. Paredes with a base hit. So 3 new guys. They all reach. Here comes the throw to the plate, and Paredes drives in the first run of the game. So 3 new guys all get on base, and we're tied. Bunt dropped down by Robert. A sack bunt, second and third, one out now for Abrams. CJ grounds to second, but that's going to get a run in, and we are up 2-1. Cruz walks. And Crane flies out to right center. So we take the lead with some small ball. Getting him over, getting him in. You like to see it. Rodriguez walks. He grounds into the 6-4-3 double play, and Cade Marlowe leads off. He walks. There's a line drive to left, and that's 3 innings of 1-run ball for Burns. Villalobos bloop to left. Catch is made in shallow left. Drew Romo. There's a base hit to left. Wish he had done that his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Hayes walks. Perdomo grounds back to the second baseman. So we got first and third, 2 outs for the leadoff hitter, Isaac Paredes, and that's gone. Isaac getting it done on opening day here for the Nationals. 4 runs knocked in for our leadoff hitter on opening day, and we are up 5-1. They go to their bullpen already. Robert strikes out. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Ground ball to third. That's 1 out. Acuna Jr., he strikes out. And McKenzie. Ground ball to first. It's going to be another double under the first baseman's glove. Maybe it might be a triple. That thing's rolling a long way. No, it's a 2-out double. Morlando flies out to center. So 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 run for Burns so far. We've put up 5. CJ Abrams, he reaches on an error, had an RBI single his last time up. Dylan Cruz, he strikes out for the second time today. Davis Crane with a 2-run home run to right. His first home run of the year after hitting 49 a season ago. It's 7-1. Villalobos hits that out to center, over the head of the center fielder. So Juan with a double on opening day. He had a big opening day last year. Romo with a fly ball to center. It's going to stay in the park, I think. It does. And Ke'Bryan Hayes, he had reached twice, hit by a pitch and a walk. Grounds out this time. We add 2 more runs. We're up 7-1. Luis Angel Acuna with a base hit to right. It's a ground ball to the shortstop, or into the shift rather, to the second baseman. Winokur with a fly ball to right. There's a base hit. So first and third with one out here in the fifth. Marlowe hits a fly ball to right. It's going to be deep enough to score, but it's going to stay in the park. So 7-2 now in the bottom of the fifth. Harris with a single to right. They're starting to get some swings here on Burns, but he strikes out Torkelson. We get through 5. We're up 7-2. Perdomo strikes out this time. Paredes pops out to right. Another fly ball to right. Luis Robert. We go in order. Acuna Jr. leads off. You pop out to the second. Oh, it's going to get down for a hit. Ooh, I didn't expect that. Jackson McKenzie with a line drive to left. So, yeah, they're starting to put some good swings on Corbin Burns here in the 5th and 6th inning. And an error. That was a mess. Runner scored from first on a single. There's a strikeout from Orlando. Acuna with a base hit. That's going to drive in the 4th run of the game. So they're starting to get this thing closer. I think it might be time to get Corbin out of the game here, guys. Grounds into the 6-4-3. Giovanni Moran, the former Washington National, strikes out Abrams. That can have enough to get out of the park. It looks like it is. Yeah, long gone. 452 feet for Dylan Cruz. Extends our lead back to 4. Crane goes the other way. Stays in the park. Villalobos draws ball 4. Pickoff throw to first. Villalobos down to second. Nationals get a run. So we go to the stretch up 8-4. That can't possibly still be Corbin Burns, can it? I guess we can look at the box score. Is it going to let me look at the box score? Nope. It's not going to let me look at the box score. Either way, we got a new pitcher in there now. Torkelson strikes out. So we're through 7. We're up 4. Brian Hayes leads off. Grounds out 5-3. Perdomo 0 for 3. And Paredes 2 for 5. We go to the bottom of the 8th now. And catch is made. It's questionable for a second. Jackson McKenzie leads off, or is up now. It's a home run to left center, so it's 8-5. Figueroa coming in now as the stopper. Exactly why we want him here. 2 away, and Acuna. An infield single. A pop up to the third baseman in foul territory. And that retires the side in the 8th. So we're up 3 going into the 9th. Hasn't been a pretty game. Hasn't been a pretty game. Get a leadoff single. C.J. Abrams grounds into a 6-4 put out. And Robert has to come out of the game. Of course he does. Cruz grounds it to third, and he's out. Down to second goes Abrams. Crane flies out to center. And we go to the 9th up by 3. With our ace, or with our stopper out there, Pedro Figueroa sets down Winokur, walks Marlowe, gives up a double to Harris. It's going to score a run, I think. Yep, nope, runner stopped at third. Torkelson with a base hit to right. So this thing's getting too close for comfort here in the 9th. 8-6 tying runners on base. Acuna grounds into the 6-4-3 double play, and that does it. So we survive by the skin of our teeth. We beat Atlanta 6-3. We lose Robert, so he's going to be hurt for the second game. But nice debut for Paredes. Good game for Crane. Burns went 6. Catalina and Figueroa both pitched. They're not going to be able to pitch in game 2, but it's okay. Burns gets the win. Figueroa gets the save, and we win on opening day. So that's going to do it, guys. As always, thank you so much for your support. Thanks for watching. When we come back, it'll be May 1st, and hopefully will be a successful season, and hopefully we can finally win a title this year. Anyway, appreciate you watching, guys. We'll talk soon. Bye.